The last on the block, the auction block on Terminus Station, reeked of fear and desperation. Captain Maya Chen had visited many unsavory places during her decade traversing the galactic rim, but slave markets always made her stomach turn. She wouldn't be here at all if her ship's navigation system hadn't failed spectacularly 3 days ago, leaving the Horizon Seeker stranded in this lawless corner of space. In the central arena, the day's trading was nearly complete. Wealthy merchants and mining corporations had claimed the prime specimens hours ago. The muscular Cronians for heavy labor, the nimble Vex for technical work, the telepathic Indari for communication tasks. Now only the dregs remained, those specimens considered too weak, too old, or too defective to fetch a decent price. And then there was the last one. "Final lot of the day," announced the auctioneer, a corpulent Raxian whose scales glistened with nervous sweat. "Specimen 347X, species unknown." The creature they dragged onto the platform barely resembled a sentient being. Its skin was a pale, luminescent blue that seemed to pulse with an internal rhythm. Where most species had recognizable limbs, this one possessed what appeared to be tentacle-like appendages that could possibly function as arms, though they hung limp at its sides. Its face, if you could call it that, featured no visible eyes, only slight indentations where sensory organs might be hidden. "Starting bid at 50 credits, the auctioneer called, his voice lacking the enthusiasm he'd shown for earlier lots. "Discovered on an abandoned research vessel. Could be useful for something." Silence fell across the auction floor. The remaining buyers, mostly small-time operators looking for bargains, shifted uncomfortably. No one raised a hand. 40 credits? More silence. 30? It does eat standard protein paste, so maintenance is cheap. Maya found herself studying the alien more closely. Something about its posture struck her as not merely defeated, but deliberately withdrawn. It wasn't just submissive. It was hiding something. "Final call at 20 credits before we space it." 20 credits, Maya called out, ignoring the startled look from her first officer, Dax, who stood beside her. The auctioneer's 3 eyes blinked in surprise. "Sold! To the human at the back!" "Captain," Dax whispered urgently, "our repair budget comes from my personal account," Maya finished. "Trust me on this." An hour later, Maya led their new acquisition through the airlock of the Horizon Seeker. The alien moved with surprising grace despite its bindings. Up close, Maya could see faint patterns rippling beneath its translucent skin, complex geometries that changed and shifted like mathematical equations made visible. "I'm removing your restraints," Maya said once the airlock sealed behind them. "I'm Captain Maya Chen. This is the independent trading vessel Horizon Seeker." The alien made no response as she unlocked the neural cuffs. Once freed, it simply stood there, its skin pulsing slightly faster. "Do you understand me? Do you have a name?" For several long moments, nothing happened. Then, slowly, the alien raised what Maya presumed was its head. The skin at the front of its face membrane parted, revealing not a mouth, but a small opening through which a soft, melodic voice emerged. "I am called Mnemosany," it said in flawless galactic standard. "Though, my captor's preferred specimen." Maya blinked in surprise. "You speak standard." "I speak 47 languages currently used in this sector, plus 18 considered extinct." The alien skin rippled with what might have been pride or perhaps irony. "It was insufficient to prevent my capture." Dax stepped forward, his cybernetic eye whirring as he scanned their new passenger. "If you can communicate this well, why didn't you speak up at the auction? You could have improved your chances of being purchased for my cognitive abilities rather than as manual labor," Mnemosany finished. "Previous experience suggested that revealing my nature would lead to worse outcomes." Maya nodded slowly, understanding dawning. "Research vessel. You weren't cargo, were you? You were the subject." Mnemosany's skin dimmed slightly. "Correct, Captain Chen." I was studied extensively. And now you're hiding what you can do, Maya guessed. Smart. Yet you purchased me anyway. Why? Maya smiled. Call it human intuition. Or maybe I just couldn't stand seeing anyone treated like that, even someone who looks like a blue jellyfish. For the first time, the patterns beneath Mnemosyne's skin formed what Maya could swear was a geometrical approximation of amusement. You need a navigation system, Mnemosyne said suddenly. Maya froze. How did you— Your first officer mentioned a repair budget. Your vessel has not left the docking bay for 3 standard days despite full cargo holds, suggesting mechanical failure. The pricing inquiries you made at the station's repair shop indicate navigational components, which are notoriously expensive in this sector. Dax whistled. Observant. I could assist, Mnemosyne offered cautiously, in exchange for consideration regarding my status. Your status is not property, Maya said firmly. I bought your freedom, not you. But we do need to get out of this system before questions arise about your previous ownership. Mnemosyne's skin brightened perceptibly. Then I will help you leave, Captain. When they reached the bridge, Maya was shocked to see Mnemosyne transform. The alien's tentacle-like appendages split into finer, more dexterous extensions that interfaced directly with the ship's navigation console. Where the skin touched the hardware, it seemed to meld, creating connections that bypassed damaged circuits. Your primary stellar cartography module is corrupted, Mnemosyne announced, skin patterns flowing like star charts. And your quantum positioning system is misaligned by 0.003 degrees. I am repairing both. Dax checked his diagnostics panel in disbelief. That's impossible without replacement parts. For most species, yes, Mnemosyne agreed. My biology allows for direct information exchange with compatible systems. I am redistributing the workload to functioning components. Within minutes, displays that had been dark for days flickered back to life. The navigation system rebooted, star charts unfolding across the main view screen with greater resolution than they'd ever had before. Navigation is restored to 97.8% efficiency, Mnemosyne reported. I recommend departure within the hour, as station security has begun investigating today's auction purchases more thoroughly than usual. Maya didn't need to be told twice. Dax, prep for immediate departure. Contact station control and request an expedited undocking protocol. As the crew scrambled to prepare for launch, Maya pulled Mnemosyne aside. What you just did, that's why the researchers were studying you, isn't it? Mnemosyne's patterns dimmed. One reason among many. My species interfaces with information, systems in ways others find valuable. The research vessel was attempting to replicate the ability synthetically, and that's why you didn't want anyone at the auction to know what you can do. The corporations would have paid millions for me, Mnemosyne confirmed, and I would never have seen freedom again. An alarm blared through the ship's speakers. On the main view screen, station security vessels moved into intercept positions around the docking bay. Attention Horizon Seeker, came a gruff voice over the comm. Remain docked for inspection. You are suspected of harboring stolen property. Maya's jaw tightened. Stolen property, my ass. Dax, emergency undocking procedures. Now! They've locked the docking clamps, Dax reported tensely. I can override them, Mnemosyne said, tentacles already extending toward the command console. But station defenses will fire upon us. Maya took her captain's chair, buckling in as klaxons continued to wail. Then we'd better be faster than their targeting systems. Do it. As Mnemosyne's appendages merged with the ship's systems once more, Maya couldn't help but wonder what else this remarkable being was capable of, and who might be coming after them to reclaim their property. But for now, they had a station to escape and a new crew member to protect. The Horizon Seeker shuddered as the docking clamps released, and they plunged into the darkness of space, plasma bursts from station weapons fire illuminating their wake. Whatever came next, Maya knew one thing for certain. The being everyone else had written off as worthless had already proven invaluable. And this was only the beginning. Worth beyond measure. 3 weeks into their journey toward the outer colonies, the Horizon Seeker had transformed, not just in function, though every system now operated with unprecedented efficiency, but in atmosphere. The crew moved with newfound purpose, fascinated by their unusual new member. Mnemosyne had integrated seamlessly into ship operations, requiring only a small tank of nutrient-rich water in the corner of engineering for rest cycles. The aliens' presence had solved not only their navigation problems, but countless other small glitches that had plagued the aging vessel for years. "I've never seen power distribution this stable," Chief Engineer Prakash marveled as he reviewed the daily diagnostics. "We're using 17% less fuel while maintaining full speed." Maya nodded, studying the reports on her datapad. "The life support recyclers are running at peak efficiency too. Air quality has improved significantly." What impressed her most, however, wasn't Mnemosyne's technical abilities, but the way the alien had begun to connect with the crew. Initially reserved and watchful, the being had gradually started sharing knowledge. Historical anecdotes about distant worlds, untranslatable poetry from extinct civilizations, mathematical concepts that made Prakash's eyes glaze over. "How old are you?" Maya had asked during their shared meal period 3 days ago. Mnemosyne's skin had rippled in what she now recognized as contemplation. "Time is measured differently among my kind. In your reckoning, approximately 372 standard years." The revelation had stunned the mess hall into silence until Communications Officer Leon had asked eagerly, "Does that mean you remember the Nexus Wars? You know firsthand?" From that moment on, mealtimes had become informal history lessons, with crew members gathering to hear Mnemosyne recount events that for them existed only in educational modules. The alien spoke of galactic upheavals, scientific breakthroughs, and cultural revolutions with the casual familiarity of one who had witnessed it all. Maya watched these interactions with growing satisfaction. The 20 credits she'd spent at that slave auction now seemed like the bargain of a century, but peace never lasted long on the galactic rim. "Captain to the bridge, emergency protocol." Dax's voice rang through the ship's internal comm, shattering Maya's momentary contentment. She arrived on the bridge to find her crew staring grimly at the main view screen, where a massive ship had appeared seemingly out of nowhere. Its sleek black hull absorbed rather than reflected light, making it difficult to judge its true dimensions. "They dropped out of hyperspace directly in our path," Dax reported. "No identification broadcast. They're running dark." "Scanning technology far exceeds legal parameters," Mnemosyne added from the science station, where the alien's tentacles were integrated with multiple consoles simultaneously. "Design matches vessels used by the Hegemony Research Division." Maya felt her blood run cold. The Hegemony, the loose alliance of corporate interests that controlled much of the galactic core, was notorious for its aggressive research programs and complete disregard for sentient rights. "They're hailing us," Leon announced tensely. "On screen," Maya ordered, straightening her uniform jacket. The view screen flickered to show a pale human face with cybernetic implants crawling across the left side like metallic vines. "Unregistered vessel. This is Director Oren of the Hegemony, Special Research Division. You are in possession of classified biological property. Power down your systems and prepare to be boarded." Maya stepped forward, keeping her expression neutral. "This is Captain Maya Chen of the independent trader Horizon Seeker. We're carrying legally purchased goods and crew. You have no jurisdiction here." The director's augmented eye whirred as it focused. "Don't play games, Captain. Our tracking systems detected the unique bioelectric signature of specimen 347X the moment you dropped out of hyperspace at Terminus Station." That entity is hegemony property, stolen from a research facility at considerable cost. Living beings can't be property, Maya countered. And I have documentation of legal purchase. Director Oren smiled thinly. Documentation from a black market. Auction holds no legal weight. You have 5 minutes to comply before we disable your vessel and take what belongs to us. The transmission cut off. They outgun us 20-1, Dax said grimly, and they're blocking all hyperspace frequencies. Maya turned to Minimazani, who had disconnected from the ship's systems and drawn into a tighter protective ball. These are the people who had you before? Yes, the alien's voice was softer than usual. They dissected portions of my consciousness to study how I process information. What remained was deemed defective and sold to recoup costs. Rage built in Maya's chest. But you're fully functional now. Self-repair was always possible, given time and freedom from their suppressant drugs, Nemazani explained. They underestimated my species' regenerative capabilities. Captain, Dax interrupted urgently. 4 minutes remaining. Maya paced. The bridge, mind racing. They couldn't outrun the hegemony vessel, couldn't outgun it, and couldn't jump to hyperspace. Conventional options were exhausted. She stopped before Minimazani. You said your kind interfaces with systems differently. Could you connect with their ship? The alien's skin pulsed rapidly. Their cybersecurity will be exceptional. But not designed to stop someone like you, Maya pressed. Is it possible? Theoretically, Minimazani admitted. But I would need direct contact with their systems, and the range is currently too great. Maya's eyes gleamed with sudden inspiration. What if we let them catch us, not to surrender, but to get you close enough? The bridge fell silent as the crew grasped her meaning. Captain, Prakash said slowly from the engineering station. Are you suggesting we allow ourselves to be boarded so that Nemazani can, what? Hack their entire ship? Not their entire ship, Maya clarified. Just enough to create an opportunity to escape. We can't win a direct confrontation, but we might survive with the right distraction. Minimazani's skin had taken on a deeper, blue hue. The risk is considerable. If they recapture me, they will ensure I cannot escape again. The procedures would be permanent. Maya knelt beside the alien. I won't order this. It has to be your choice. But I promise you this. Every member of this crew will fight to protect you, just as you've helped protect us. The ship trembled as the hegemony vessel locked on with a tractor beam, beginning to draw them in. 2 minutes, Captain, Dax reported, grimly. Namasin's skin patterns shifted through complex algorithms before settling into a steady, determined rhythm. I will attempt it, but we will need a diversion to get me access to their primary systems. The next 30 minutes unfolded like a carefully choreographed dance of deception. The Horizon Seeker powered down as instructed, appearing to surrender. When the hegemony boarding team breached their airlock, they found a seemingly cooperative captain and crew, with no sign of their prized specimen. Where is it? Director Oren demanded, as he strode onto the bridge, flanked by armed security. Personnel. Maya shrugged with manufactured nonchalance. We jettisoned it 3 days ago when its health started failing. Didn't seem worth the nutrition costs. The director's organic eye narrowed as his cybernetic one scanned the bridge. You expect me to believe you discarded an asset worth millions? We didn't know it was worth anything, Maya lied. It was practically catatonic when we left the station. While the confrontation on the bridge continued, what the hegemony forces didn't detect was the small container being transported through their ship's waste reclamation system, a container holding Nemazani in a condensed form. The alien had compressed its biomass into a fraction of its normal size, allowing Chief Engineer Prakash to smuggle it aboard the hegemony vessel disguised as biological waste. Now, as Nemazani emerged inside the enemy ship's maintenance tunnels, the alien extended tendrils toward the nearest access terminal. The moment contact was made, Mnemosyne's consciousness flowed into the hegemony ship's network. What the researchers had never fully understood about Mnemosyne's species was that their interface ability wasn't merely physical, it was a fundamental translation of consciousness into pure information. Within seconds, Mnemosyne existed as much in the ship's systems as in physical form. On the bridge of the Horizon Seeker, chaos erupted precisely 4 minutes after Prakash's return. The lights on the hegemony vessel flickered. Alarms blared. Emergency. Bulkheads slammed down, trapping security teams in isolated sections. "What's happening?" Director Oren demanded, grabbing his communicator as his security detail frantically tried to restore contact with their ship. Maya allowed herself a small smile. "I believe your systems are experiencing technical difficulties." The director's cybernetic eyes suddenly sparked, causing him to cry out in pain as the implant malfunctioned. The other hegemony personnel with augmentations experienced similar distress as their enhancements turned against them. "This is impossible," Oren gasped, clutching his face. "Our cybersecurity was designed to stop hackers," Maya finished for him, "not beings who can become information." The tractor beam holding, the Horizon Seeker abruptly released. Ship-wide systems on the hegemony vessel continued to fail in cascading sequence. Life support recalibrating to uncomfortable levels, artificial gravity fluctuating wildly. "Captain," Dax called out, monitoring his console, the hyperspace dampening. "Field is down! Initiate emergency jump protocols," Maya ordered. "Get us out of here the moment Mnemosyne returns." Director Oren lunged for her, rage distorting his features. "You have no idea what you're interfering with. That specimen is the key to the next evolution of information technology." Maya sidestepped his attack easily as he stumbled. His motor, control compromised by his malfunctioning implants. "That specimen has a name, and apparently a talent for payback." The ship's airlock cycled suddenly. On the security monitor, Maya watched as a maintenance hatch opened and Mnemosyne flowed through, moving with unprecedented speed back onto the Horizon Seeker. "Now, Dax!" she commanded. The hyperspace engines roared to life as the Horizon Seeker pulled away from the crippled hegemony vessel. The view screen filled with stretched starlight as they made their escape. Hours later, safely in hyperspace and headed toward the relative safety of the independent colonies, Maya found Mnemosyne in the observation dome. The alien's form was expanded to its full size, skin patterns swirling with complex equations as it processed the day's events. "You saved us all," Maya said quietly, taking a seat beside the gently pulsing being. "As you saved me," Mnemosyne replied. "Twice now." "What did you do to their ship?" The patterns beneath Mnemosyne's skin formed what Maya had come to recognize as the alien's version of a smile. "I introduced certain logical paradoxes into their core programming. Nothing permanent, but it will take their technicians approximately 47 days to untangle." Maya laughed. "Remind me never to get on your bad side." "I also—" Mnemosyne hesitated, patterns shifting to a more serious configuration. "I accessed their research database. I know now what happened to my people." Maya's smile faded. "And I am not the last, as I had feared. There are others hidden throughout the galaxy. Some free, some still captive." "Then we'll find them," Maya said without hesitation. "Free those we can, at least." Mnemosyne's skin brightened to an almost luminous intensity. "You would do this? Even knowing the hegemony will hunt us more aggressively now?" Maya gazed out at the hyperspace corridor, streams of light carrying them toward uncertain futures. "Do you know why humans were late to join the galactic community, Mnemosyne? Our homeworld was resource-poor compared to many. We had to fight for everything, against our environment, against each other. When we finally reached the stars, many expected us to be conquerors. Yet you became traders instead," Mnemosyne observed, "and explorers. and occasionally, rescuers of beings others consider worthless. Maya smiled. Humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology or our adaptability. It's our stubborn refusal to accept that anything, or anyone, is truly without value. Mnemosynes' appendages gently touched Maya's hand, creating a momentary circuit of understanding between their vastly different forms of consciousness. "Then I am fortunate," the alien said softly, "that of all the species who might have found me, it was humans who recognized worth where others saw none." As the Horizon Seeker continued its journey through the stars, carrying its diverse crew toward new adventures, Maya reflected on the strange twist of fate that had brought them to that auction block. One being's worthlessness had become another's priceless treasure. A lesson the galaxy would soon learn as word of their exploits spread. For in the vast darkness of space, where danger and wonder walked hand in hand, sometimes the most valuable allies were those everyone else had overlooked.